please hear me. Don't you miss this. Our submission to others has nothing to do with them. My submission to my government, my submission to my authority, my submission to people in my life has nothing to do with them. You're saying, Randy, where do you get that? Well, notice what Ephesians 5:21 teaches. It says, submit yourself to one another. Why? Because of your reverence for Christ. Ephesians 5:22 says what? Wives, submit to your own husband. Why? As to the Lord. Ephesians 6:1 declares, children, obey your parents. Why? Because you belong to the Lord. Ephesians 6:5 says this, serve your bosses sincerely as you would serve Christ. Every time you see something about submission in the Bible, it is always based upon our relationship to Christ. It has everything to do with God, and it has nothing to do with them. You see, we like to say things like this, well, I'll submit to my boss as long as he's a good dude or she's a good dudette. But notice what Jesus says in 1 Peter 3:1. He gives us a principle that applies to wives, but it applies to everybody. He says, wives must submit yourself to your husbands, even if they don't believe God's word. You see, we like to put conditions on our submission. And God's saying, hey, not only to wives, but this is a principle that applies to all of us. Our submission has nothing to do with them, and it has everything to do with God. You're saying, Randy, why in the world would a proud man like you do something like that? Well, because of this truth, and the truth is this: submission to God is the key to personal victory. Submission to God is the key to personal victory. Go back to James 4:7. It says, submit yourself to God. But then he continues, resist the devil and he will run away from you. So the foundation is what? We got to submit ourselves to God. What is the result? Resist the devil and he will run away from you. Now notice, he won't just run away. He'll run away from you. Notice he won't just run away from Randy. He won't just run away from Jason. He'll run away from you. Why? Because you submitted to God. And so if you want victory over this world, which the devil is the god of, if you want victory over your enemies, which your devil is empowering, if you want victory over your bad habits, which the devil is tempting, then you must submit to God.